I have been like trying to get the setup to be perfect. Just with it's been the lighting and it's been 30 minutes. I'm struggling. It's because I thought it was gonna be sunny by now. It's like cloudy. Oh, look, it's Santa. Anyways, oh. This is the only clean cup I had. I would have gotten a bigger one, but look. Number one, when being treated badly, you need to leave. These are things that I've learned through experience, like all of these things. So, like, I will stay and I will just try and be like, oh, this person probably doesn't know how to be nice or loving, and I will stay and try to teach them. I'll give hints, or this applies in anything like family, friendships, romantic relationships. Like, you will stay and you'll be like, give hints or just say things straight up like, oh, I want you to do this, or I would appreciate it if you do this, or this is hurting me. And a lot of times, like, that does not work. So you need to leave. You need to remove yourself from that person, because you need to know that you deserve to be in good, healthy relationships. And maybe someone does love you, but maybe they don't know how to love you, and you trying to teach them doesn't work. It doesn't work because, like, think of it, this is a grown adult. Do you really think you're gonna change someone overnight? The way I view people now is I view them as like finished product, and I used to view them as potential. I was like, there's so much potential in this or that, but like, are they the person that you think they could be now? No, they are not. And you cannot change people. So, like, you need to see them for what is going on now, who they are now, and decide, is this hurting me? Does this work for me? Do you know what I mean? So if this person is hurting you, you need to leave, because you're not gonna be able to change them or fix them. And a lot of times what happens is when you leave, when you end that relationship, sometimes the person who was hurting you knew exactly what they were doing, and they were doing it on purpose. And then they will change because they realize that they lost you. If you just continue to stay, they're like, okay, well, they're gonna get mad at me, but they're not gonna leave me, so I can continue this behavior. So before you do anything, before you think, oh, well, let me just do this or that, or show them how I wanna be treated, like, if you've communicated what's going on and then you don't see a change the first time, then you have to leave. And you staying is wasting your time, and then you're getting emotionally involved, and it's gonna make things worse. It's gonna make it harder to leave. Just because you would never do something to someone else does not mean they wouldn't do it to you. So sometimes people can do things that you are in shock. You're like, that is terrible. I would never do that. That is so hurtful. If I did that, I would be guilty, right? But then you see them do it, and they probably don't feel any guilt at all. And they probably are justifying their actions. So this also comes into play with relationships. If you see someone, treating others badly, or they're treating, yourself badly, it's easy to make excuses for people, especially when you love them, but again, leave. Like, they probably don't. If they would do something that you're like, I would never do that, that is a sign to leave. Because you can't expect people to be just like you. You can't expect everyone to be like good-hearted or have good intentions or do their best or be honest. And I know that's sad, but that helps you to not be blind to what other people are doing. And so that way you can not lie to yourself, and you can see the people for who they are through their actions. Trust your gut. So, hold on. So trust your gut feeling. If you are in a relationship and you're trying to figure out whether it's healthy or not, and you're like, is this good for me? Am I happy? Then the answer is it's not a healthy relationship. And this is, again, with friends, family, not just romantic. This is harder to do, like, when you grew up in a toxic household because you still don't have a clear idea of what a healthy relationship is. But like, if you are trying to convince yourself that this is good, this is fun, I'm happy, I think they really love me, I think they're doing the best they can. If you're like, I think, or I guess, or you're making excuses, or you're trying to figure it out, that is your answer right there, that this is probably not a healthy relationship. Because when it is, you will without a doubt know, and you will feel like you won't even question it. It will be like, oh, like this is a healthy relationship. You won't question it at all. And like, a way to go about that is to do your research. Like, go on YouTube, like you're doing right now, research healthy relationship signs, you know, that you're being like in a relationship with healthy boundaries, and also the opposite, like signs you could be in a toxic relationship. And just do your research on the signs and behaviors, and that way you can be more educated, so you're not just like confused. Because it is hard when you grew up with a family who they never taught you that, because they themselves do not know how to be in healthy relationships. You know, something else that I've learned is that the relationship, and I'm sorry if my voice is low, it's because my throat hurts a little bit, but the relationship that I have with myself is like the relationship I have with myself is the most important relationship ever. Like, it's more important than the relationship with my parents, or, you know, if I eventually get into a long-term relationship, it's gonna be more important than my significant other. And that's because, like, you cannot just get rid of yourself. You know, you, like, people will come and go in your life, but you need to have a healthy relationship with yourself. That is so important, and it's going to either like make your life a million times better than it is, or it's going to make things worse. So you have to make sure that you are spending time alone, and you're understanding your feelings, you're letting yourself feel your feelings. A lot of times I will talk to myself, like when I'm driving, I will talk to myself like I would someone else. Like, if I'm ranting about my problems, I like feel my feelings, and I'm like, hey, I am actually hurt, or I feel sick, and I need this. A lot of times we can give ourselves what we need, but we have to be paying attention so we know what it is that we need. So you have to, like, the more in tune you are with yourself, and you understand your likes, dislikes, what works for you, what doesn't, how you truly are, instead of being focused on others or just trying to constantly cater to other people. When you understand, hey, I am actually like this, and I've noticed over the years that this is what I'm like, then you can work with yourself. I do not recommend going against what you're like, just, I don't know, because you feel pressure to do that. Like, I feel like the more I work with myself, the easier it is to get things done or reach goals. And do not like sacrifice that relationship for others. You do not want to lose yourself or ignore yourself, or never spend time alone just for the sake of other people, because like you are losing something so valuable. And I feel like my life has, my life has gotten like a lot better. It started to get much better the more I listened to myself and gave myself what I needed. And a lot of times other people don't know what that is, because they're not you. Like, nobody else can feel what you're feeling or experience your life through your eyes or your emotions, your experiences. Like, this is all very personal. And like, I cannot stress this enough. Like, a lot of this has to do with like being true to yourself and spending time alone, but also recognizing, like, you have to be strong in the sense that, you know, maybe you feel pressured by other people to do something or be a certain way, but if you're like, that does not work for me because I know it doesn't, and you push it away, that is like improving your relationship with yourself, because you're showing up for yourself, and you're saying, hey, I actually care about myself enough to take care of myself, whether that be like in your health or in your professional life. Like, there's many different ways that you can do that. Also, be friends with people that you look up to. I like, I be looking around and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Because like, well, at the point I'm at now, I don't want to be, I would rather be alone. I am a person that really loves my alone time, and I like being at home. I like doing things alone. But I know not everyone's like that, but still, like, even if you feel like you're a person that constantly likes to be around others or likes to have a big group of friends, it is better to be picky about the people you're friends with, because you want to be around people who you can admire and look up to. Because, like, if you're besties with someone, why do you want to be around someone that you can never take advice from? Because their advice low-key sucks, and sometimes you're embarrassed by them, sometimes you know, make excuses for them, and you're looking at their life and you're just like, I love you, but I wouldn't want to be like you. I would rather be friends with people who I can admire, I can look up to, and I can be like, oh my god, like, I gain inspiration from just hanging out with them, because of maybe they have things that I don't have that I would love to have. Maybe they have qualities and they're doing things that I would love to do, and that when I see other people doing things, like living my dream, I get very inspired. And that's the thing, you also need to look inside yourself and make sure you're not a jealous person. Like, you don't have to be jealous. Instead, look at that and see that as inspiration, being like, someone has something that I don't, that means that it is possible for me. And when you're friends with people who have things you don't have that you want, or they're a certain way or have a lifestyle, you can ask them for advice, because that's what you want. So they probably have the advice you're looking for. They could probably motivate you. Or it could just be people who have good relationship skills, like healthy relationship skills, and you can learn from them. Like, you can be like, this is like one of the best friendships I've ever had. Like, you want people who basically are doing better than you. You do not want to surround yourself with like a bunch of people who out of all of them, you are doing better than all of them. I know it can be like tempting, I guess, for your ego, if you're like, oh, I'm doing so much better than these losers. But I just feel like it's not smart, especially long term. I don't think that's smart, because then you're probably just gonna stay like this, because you're like, I'm doing so good. But it's like, are you? Like, I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but you know, this ties in with something else, is that is you don't have to listen to advice from everybody. I know that, you know, people will often give you advice or tell you to do something or be a certain way, or just give you life advice, whether it be someone you're close to or strangers. But when people tell me advice, even if it's very well-meaning, and this is also if it's on the internet, you see a lot of stuff on the internet too, of people giving advice. You never have to listen to anybody. Like, do not listen to anybody. Just think, does this work for me? Do I truly think that this is good advice? And also look at the person giving the advice and be like, can I look up to this person? Do I like their personality? Do I like their personal life? Like, before I just take people's advice and run with it, even what I'm saying, just think, do I think this is practical advice? Do I think this is smart? Do I think this makes sense? Because people will pressure you to do things. They will give you advice, and maybe it's well-meaning, maybe they truly believe it, but like, that's what works for them. Do you know what I mean? That may be the best advice that they can think of. So just like take things with a grain of salt and think before you just run with like anything. Okay, I think it's getting dark. Like, hold on. Like, it's literally getting darker in here. Like, I don't know where the sun went. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna try and end this. So, okay, this is for ladies or people who like guys. Men know how to make you happy. They know how to treat you. They know what they should and shouldn't do. They know you want flowers. They know that you want to be asked, like, will you be my Valentine on Valentine's Day? They know you want to go out on dates. They know you want them to call them beautiful. Wait, what? I mean, you know what I mean. They know that they should call you beautiful. They know they shouldn't be sexist, and they know that they should respect women. They know they shouldn't catcall people on the street. They know a lot of things. They know how they should treat you and how to make you happy. They know that they should do the dishes. They know how to do the dishes. They know how to cook a basic meal. I'm pretty sure they know how to use a toaster. But a lot of times we will make excuses for men because we're like, maybe they don't know, or maybe he doesn't know. He knows. He knows. You're telling me that this guy's 30, does his taxes every year, somehow has a job, but he doesn't know how to be in a relationship or how to make you smile? Really? Really? He's never bought you flowers and he just doesn't know? Like, no. Yeah, he knows. So, instead of trying, again, this goes into leaving. Do not try and fix this person. If they are like that, they are gonna stay like that. Chances are you are not Bob the Builder. Don't stay and try and beg for this or convince them to do this or teach them to do that, because that's not gonna work. You have to replace the whole man. You have to literally leave and find a whole different human being that already does all those things from the start, because if they want to make you happy, they will. Simple. Okay, this ties in with something else, that people will treat you how they feel about you. If someone is treating you with passive aggressiveness, or they're just not being very nice, that's how they feel about you. You blaming it on yourself or thinking up reasons why it could be something else, that's wasting your time. Just run with what people are doing. Not what they're saying, but what they're doing. Okay? Like, I have had so many people who are like, oh, we're besties, like I really like you, but their actions tell me otherwise, even their energy. So just accept it. I know it's hard sometimes, but just accept, hey, like, this is what I'm seeing from you, and so I'm going to assume that this is how you feel towards me because this is what you're doing. And that's the same thing with healthy relationships. Like, if someone's making time for you, they say good things about you, they're very positive when they're around you, they tell you straight up they enjoy your company, you know, like, those are good signs. And if you can see from someone's actions, like, hey, this person really does value me and my time, then they probably do. A lot of times, unless, you know, they're like crazy and manipulative, a lot of times people are gonna show you how they feel about you. So I think it's been like 30 minutes at this point. I am gonna go. I had 2 more things that I wanted to talk about, but I've been really like, I just get so I get really like I want to talk about each of these and throw in like stories and be like, you will never believe, but if I do that, like, I'm gonna be sitting here for at least 2 hours, so I'm just gonna end it here. Wait, I had one more thing. Okay, the last thing is believe in yourself. Wait, there was another one. Okay, I'm just gonna end it here. Thank you for watching. I hope, remember, don't believe anything I just told you. No, critical thinking. Think, and then you can believe what I said. You have to think and be like, does this work for me? Don't believe anything I just said, okay? Unless you think it would work for you. But I am saying all this because of stuff that I've been through in my life, and it's not just things that I think, it's it's things that I've, like my experiences that have taught me these things. And there's of course more, but this was just on my mind today, so. But anyways, I assume it's very dark in here by now and you can't even see me, but thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and yeah. I'll go to the store to get more medicine. But anyways,